she would want to be a teacher.
Saya rasa dia nak jadi princess.
Princess?
I don't think he set his mind yet on anything in particular.
I think pilot.
I want to be a pilot when I grow up.
His preferred subject
Should be English, Chinese.
Who is his best friend at school?
Very difficult to say. Not too sure.
Joseph?
Joseph.
Ifa? Adelina?
Idalina.
And she likes a boy? Darius?
She doesn't let people know, so I don't tell you.
No boyfriend for me. Just friend.
If you had closed your eyes, would you been able to guess that the woman on the left was the real mother? For maids on the right, they're the breadwinners of their family, backing up most of the financial aspect remotely. In Hong Kong, the majority of the 330,000 migrant domestic workers come from Philippines and Indonesia. They are in charge of cooking, cleaning, and caring for the elderly and children in most of Hong Kong's households. Legally, migrant domestic workers are required to stay with their employer. However, oftentimes they're not provided a room or even given sufficient space and time for them to wind down after a long days of work. And this is a problem.
These second mothers, also known as migrant domestic workers, often endure various forms of abuse that impact their well-being. I say, in other terms, the fourth person is an often used term to describe these workers, holding severely derogatory and hurtful implications. These nicknames are an everyday slip of tongue from many of our locals, with the worker unknowing or unaware of the undertone. This is simply unacceptable.
As said, migrant domestic workers are required to live with their employers, which makes them more vulnerable to exploitation and abuse, one of which is physical abuse, including threats or actual harm inflicted through violence. This adds to their suffering and creates a constant state of fear and paranoia. Moreover, they're constantly under severe and immense psychological and mental burdens through isolation, lack of rest, being overworked, and they're going through relentless pressure of unrealistic expectations.
This in turn lowers their overall productivity and takes a toll on their mental wellness. Your aunties care for your children, now what about theirs?
Imagine yourself seeing your mother for the first time in 2 years and having to say goodbye to her in 2 weeks.
That is the reality for Francis, a 22-year-old from the Philippines. For the past 18 years, he has been relying on his mother, a domestic worker, for the monthly salary of 4,000 Hong Kong dollars, for a roof over his head, food on the dining table, and an opportunity to go to school. Should her source of income be unlawfully taken away, employers would be depriving their family of basic human needs.
This is why we're here, to ensure that these basic human rights are also maintained for the migrant domestic workers that help us. Now that we've finished talking about the family at home, what about those who want to start a new family in Hong Kong? Well, there's clear protection for women's rights in Hong Kong's labor legislation. And that obviously includes migrant domestic workers who decide to have and start a family in Hong Kong.
On behalf of Pathfinders, a non-government organization that supports these workers, our main motto is that all children deserve a fair start in life. Not a priority, a fair start. So, say they have a child here. What happens then? Take Sally as an example. She was fired by her employer, who was also the father of the child, after refusing to abort the baby.
Imagine yourself in her shoes, a new mom unable to afford diapers, unable to afford baby food, and unable to afford sanitary wipes. Even food and basic clothing items are out of the question. This serves as a reality for many Filipino and Indonesian workers in Hong Kong. Now, the opinions on having children as a migrant domestic worker is mixed. However, a common consensus should be that the child is cared for and have a fair start in life. Pathfinders intervene during crisis to comfort and care for children and ensure that they have a nurturing care plan in place during the most critical years of early childhood development.
Recently, to contribute to the Crisis Intervention Act, we've garnered and gathered supplies to help support migrant domestic workers. Now, these include baby supplies and also nappies. I feel like our event was more than just a donation drive. It was a celebration of our students' empathy and compassion. Students, teachers, and parents all gathered together, not only contributing essential supplies, but also contributing their fellowship.
To abolish discrimination, we have to start from the roots. And one of the three objectives of Pathfinders, systemic change, we all have a part in empowering women who work their lives to support their children. Thus, another event we've held is the book reading assemblies, targeting primary school students. This is one of our actions to humanize helpers, to change the stigma against them, and to ensure future employers treat them with dignity, love, and respect.
Therefore, we are here to ask for your action. Let us pave the path for future generations to find. Donate,
Volunteer,
and support.
My name is Nicholas, this is Donald, and this is Chloe. Thank you so much.